Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Augustine from Ahead to Wellness. Today we're going to do some scanning, some testing that we do normally in our office, and we've got Nathan here to help us out. And it's called a Menelascan Pro. I also like to call it the full body scan. It's going to demonstrate for us full body physiology, but majorly important is it's going to demonstrate cellular health. Cellular health problems are a major barrier to healing. People don't heal because their cellular health is too low. It's going to show us that. So you might ask yourself, why should I come in and do this testing? We do this primarily for metabolic and holistic reasons. People that are dealing with high blood pressure, blood sugar issues, cancer, autoimmune disease, energy problems, just being low energy. Just knowing where your full body function and physiology is at is really very useful to really target and guide you towards solving some problems, even before they develop into something big. We like to find it early on so you don't have to get into a disease state. So let's get started. These electrodes to measure his brain tissue function. Then we're going to have a pulse oximeter on his fingers. Now it's started.
The system is beginning the examination.
So at the very top here on the right side we have a single lead EKG, so it's measuring heart function. The digital pulse wave is really amazing. This is analyzing the stiffness and elasticity in the arteries, how well your body is delivering oxygen to your tissues, plus a whole bunch of cardiovascular markers. Down here we have three items. We have oxygen saturation in your blood, we have heart rate, and stroke volume, which really means how much blood your heart's pumping out each heartbeat. We have organ system function across the top there. This is measuring more of the electrical potential in your tissues. Bottom down here we have heart rate is, currently your heart rate's at 82 beats per minute. Cool. Signal quality is perfect. Oxygen saturation right now in your blood is 98%. So really, really good. So it's running a little bit of microvoltage and crisscrossing them throughout all of these pads or electrodes.
Okay.
And it's actually measuring resistance to that energy flow. And ultimately, we're going to get a big picture on what's going on in full body physiology.
Phase 2.
So
This is the time for Valsalva maneuver.
Okay, so ready? Take a deep breath in. And hold your breath and pressure. Put pressure just like that.
Exhale for 5 seconds.
Blow it all the way out. And just totally relax and breathe. So this part of it is heart rate variability aspects. This is actually measuring your autonomic nervous system. And that autonomic nervous system is a special part of your brain that automatically controls and regulates all organ system function in your body as well as physiology. So
Phase 3.
I'm going to have you inhale and exhale, but follow the blue lines. The blue lines are going to rise up as you inhale, and then as the lines drop away, you exhale.
Okay.
Okay, you just follow that. Okay, ready?
Inhale for 5 seconds.
Pause, and then watch the lines.
Exhale for 5 seconds.
Just like that.
Phase
The last
4.
part, really easy.
This is the
Just
time to stand up.
Okay.
Yep.
Click start.
You can take your
Only
feet off
when
those
the
plates and go
patient
ahead
is
and stand.
standing
Cool.
up.
Yep. Boom. Just keep that hand real still. This puts a bit of stress on your autonomic nervous system, and see how well there's a difference between the stress side, sympathetic, fight or flight side, and the rest and digest side. So we're going to see some changes there too. You can go ahead and have a seat.
Cool.
Take that off your finger. If we were to look through your scan here, your wellness score, 381, that's a pretty good score. So the score goes from 0 to 500. From 420 up to 500 is kind of reserved for elite athletes. Good is 365 to 420, so you're definitely in that range. You're moving up nicely.
Cool.
Don't want to be down here in moderate or poor. Gives a great and excellent look at body composition. So your body fat percentage, which is the really critical thing to look at with regards to body composition, not body mass index, BMI. BMI is lousy. It's very inaccurate because it doesn't take into account your frame size. So body fat is 9% body fat. That's pretty darn
Jeez.
good. You must work out, Nathan.
I
I mean, look at your score. 0 to 100 here, your score is a 94. That's
Nice.
in the excellent range.
Sweet.
And your full body phase angle is 11.6.
Okay.
Normal is 8 to 15. So your cellular health is looking pretty good there. Microcirculation. This is an interesting score because this is a cardiovascular marker typically for blood sugar. Are you causing any damage in your blood vessels because of blood sugar? Today, heart disease, number one killer. What causes heart disease? Starch and sugar in our diets. That's what the average American eats. So this is a super sensitive marker, and this whole procedure has really sensitive testing for blood sugar problems. You have a good score.
Sure.
Could be better. I'm sure you don't like carbs, right? Who doesn't like carbs?
I love carbs.
Right. So we have some issues here. Cardiac output, stress index are a little bit off, but nothing major. You're still in the good range.
Sure.
In this scan, we like it to be in the green zone, right?
Cool.
You're a bit higher. So, and then if we look at what's called the stiffness index, is the large artery stiffness is actually a little bit low. These are problems that the average person doesn't have, but you're a young guy, you're in pretty good shape, pretty good health. So you have kind of the opposite, I don't want to say extremes, but you're a little bit out of balance in the opposite, in a good way. Let's just call it that.
Sure.
Now the spinal evaluation, vertebral score, 71. Notice it's down a little bit. This is pulling data from your organ system. The brain forms your spinal cord, it goes through your spine, and then you have nerves that branch out to control and regulate your organ systems. Then you have nerves that actually come back from your organ systems through your spine and back up to your brain again. So we're pulling this information from your organ systems primarily, not saying you have necessarily a spinal problem, but we also adjust the spine to free up and improve nerve system function to your organs. Cardio score is an 85, 0 to 100. You're in the good range there. This pre-ejection period means there's a little bit of stress going on in your heart, probably because you work out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that can influence your full body physiology. So we don't like to say that this testing diagnoses you with any particular disease or illness, because it doesn't. It's just showing it in this snapshot of time, what's going on in your full body physiology. The thing that I like to look at here is this SATP score, 442. Notice that it's high, right? Should be less than 377, and that is a measure of insulin resistance or prediabetes. So it's, again, another marker for blood sugar. So I would suggest to start curbing down, maybe doing less carbs and more protein, fat, and veggies. This is completely, oh my goodness, completely behavior, completely lifestyle. So if you curbed your carbs, done more of a ketogenic diet, would be more beneficial for you. So in looking at cardiovascular, actually the number one fuel for your heart is actually fat. Autonomic nervous system score in the moderate range, and this is interesting because this fits what we were talking about, some stress in your heart. So normal is right here in the center, meaning balance in the sympathetic, the fight or flight side, and parasympathetic. That's where you ideally should be, but you're over here to the right. And that's high sympathetic, high fight or flight. And guess what? It says consequences, some stress. Now, stress can mean didn't get enough sleep, had a hard workout yesterday, things like that. The screening markers. So we have cardiovascular risk factors. Yours are all good there. Arterial atheromas, blocked arteries, basically is what that means. LDL cholesterol, also good. Left ventricular hypertrophy, the left side of your heart that pumps all the blood out to your whole body. It's not tight and stiff and enlarged, so you're good there. And no inflammatory process going on. Diabetic screening markers, also. Notice insulin resistance, the marker's not high there, but we saw a couple other things that's saying that you're kind of heading in that direction. That's why it's so sensitive. We can say, yeah, it'd be a good idea if I'd recommend that you start curbing your carbohydrates back a bit. Chronic hepatitis. HEPA is liver, itis is inflammation. So you don't want to have this. There are different reasons for liver inflammation. There's infectious reasons, bacteria, viruses, things like that. But there's also beating your liver up with too much carbohydrates too. Or drinking alcohol, liquid sugar. That'll beat up your liver. Start causing some problems there. For men that are older, prostate is checked here and evaluated. Brain chemicals, so neurotransmitters are also evaluated here. So serotonin is the happy brain chemical. It tends to be a little bit low on you. The measurement is. Dopamine's low. It's the motivational neurotransmitter. GABA is high. Interesting that GABA is high. GABA is the calmative neurotransmitter, trying to calm some things down in your body that are a bit stressed, right? Acetylcholine, really good. That's the first neurotransmitter to start going south on people when they start having neurodegeneration. Yours is perfect, not a problem. Thyroid response, also in good normal range. Typically, when we see imbalance in neurotransmitter, you make over 95% of your neurotransmitters in your gut. So to me, the imbalance there, I would say you probably have a gut issue. as the foundational cause, as opposed to, oh, you just need antidepressant medication.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
if it's a gut issue, then how would that be solved?
We'll look at it and see if I'm right.
Let's go.
So lifestyle score, this is looking deep into your tissues, kind of tissue level measurement. You've got minerals in here, anything from sodium, potassium chloride, calcium, things of that sort. At the tissue level, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is produced by the inner skin lining of all your blood vessels. And when it's in normal supply, it protects your arteries and cardiovascular tissue. Yours is in normal supply, so that's good. When it goes low, though, you're causing damage, and you can cause damage to your heart and blood vessels. Why would that happen? People that have blood sugar problems and diabetes. Your body fat, this testing is saying it's too low. You should be basically 10 to 20%. It's saying you're too low.
Sure.
It's because you've been working out.
Yeah.
Leptin, it's a hunger hormone. Yours is low, so it doesn't appear that you have any issues really like starving, craving for carbs.
Yeah.
Oxidative stress is also normal, and classically, I see a lot of this high levels of oxidative stress, which you don't have, but I see higher levels with people that have blood sugar issues. So now we're going to look at the tissues. Now, ideally, you want all tissues to be gray in this test.
Okay.
And we'll start off with your brain. There's just increased activity in your brain. This is the large intestine coming up and around and then down and then out. So large intestine's a little bit irritated or inflamed. Microcirculation, blood pressure reduced. Cell metabolic needs decrease. You've got some more chronic inflammation going on in your intestines. Pancreas was a little bit off, a little bit into that green range, if you want to call it that color. These are the stress glands, and I talk a lot about these because everybody seems to have problems with stress these days. They sit on top of your kidneys right up here, and see, here you go, estimated adrenaline. That's that really high stress hormone. Your number is 57. Normal is 22 to 46. I would imagine that you work out, and just that physical stress of working out can create this picture for you. Whereas people that are more in chronic illness, they're not doing much workout because they can't, because they're so exhausted and fatigued. They don't do much, and yet they have all sorts of internal stress going on inside their body that can create a high number like that. Would it be a good idea for you to support your adrenals by taking some adaptogenic herbs? Yeah. Ashwagandha, really good. It would calm this adrenaline down.
Yeah.
Really would.
That'd be good.
Lung function is measured. Oxygen saturation in your blood is really good. It's a 97. The range is 94.5 to 96.5. Yours is a little bit higher, which is good. Not a problem at all. Carbon dioxide, 38. That's also a normal range. And your respiratory rate, 16.5. Also good. So lungs are great. People that have asthma, allergies, and some lung issues, that number typically can be lower.
I see.
And that can affect your ability to do any sort of endurance sports if your numbers are lower there. We have biochemical screening, which I really like to look at because it kind of combines just a little bit of everything. Adrenaline, higher. Cortisol, higher. Right, two stress hormones. Cortisol can also be raised by blood sugar. So starch and sugar can raise up that. Adrenal corticotrophic hormone that actually comes from your pituitary to stimulate and tell your adrenals what to do. That's right behind your eyes, right in the center.
Yeah.
And it's the master control gland for all your hormones. So it's saying right now in your testing that your adrenal corticotrophic hormone is a little bit low. Why? For you? Because of your workouts.
Okay.
And notice everything else is green.
Good.
So am I worried about Nathan's health? Probably not. So I would look at Nathan more as, okay, how can we enhance your health? How can we enhance your performance in your sports and your physical activities? I would focus on supporting your adrenals. I would focus on supporting cardiovascular function. I would support some other hormones, so giving you things that would support the precursors to make testosterone. I would talk about lifestyle issues like trying to get better, more restorative sleep. Maybe even taking a rest day, because heart rate variability testing really is excellent for looking at overtraining. So the bigger picture for you is a little bit of blood sugar stuff developing, adrenal stress, affecting there's some stress in your gut, so we might even want to talk about some of the foods that you're eating too. From a supplement perspective is something that's called GI stability. It's an amazing supplement that really helps to restore gut health, and we're talking more intestinal health in this case. If you have too much stress, all of a sudden you can start having indigestion up top, like heartburn and things of that sort. So if not so much there, then GI stability should really help out your intestines. Ashwagandha forte would be really good to support and kind of calm down the adrenaline levels and your cortisol levels. You could also use a little bit more, something even like adrenal desiccated, which will just give you gas in your tank. It'll give you more energy. It'll give you more stamina. Another great option, now an option, you don't have to do all three of these, but another option would be something called Rhodiola and Ginseng. It's a combination of herbs that really helps with endurance. So if you're primarily doing lifting, you'll be able to lift longer and stronger. I don't even think that you would need something necessarily for blood sugar. If you did, it would be something called Diaplex. Diaplex helps you to use sugar more efficiently. So first, being conservative, I would suggest just curbing, and we'll talk more about carbs in your diet. So something simple like that. So what we discovered with Nathan today was he had some issues developing in blood sugar. Really super subtle, but still he needs to fix and work on blood sugar issues. Also some gastrointestinal issues going on and stress. If you start having these problems, maybe you want to look into this as well. We also suggested that Nathan take some supplements, GI stability. Also some adrenal support called ashwagandha complex, which tends to help his adrenal glands heal and calm him so he can even sleep better. Some other stronger adrenal support when he needs the energy and endurance in his working out, adrenal desiccated and Rhodiola and Ginseng. Really good nutrients to start supporting his adrenal function. Again, my name is Dr. Augustine. If you like this information, if you're interested in this, you can like and subscribe here on my YouTube channel. I'm also on Instagram as well as TikTok for more useful information. And thanks for watching.